Well, hello there. That'd probably be better if I did it in, like, well, hello there. Maybe not. I don't know. You tell me. Let me know down below. This case is insane. Absolute insane. What we'll do first of all is just do some case house work. Shall we get rid of some of the rumours first, and then we'll get into the meat and potatoes. So, they're obviously still talking about, there's a lot of rumours floating around, but we've seen this footage come to life again with the people running about in the background. They've basically said in this, and I won't read it word for word, but they were saying, look, we've looked at the footage, we've looked at all of the things that go with that footage, and it's nothing to do with the murders whatsoever. They're just saying that they attended for an alcohol event, an alcohol offence, no way connected to the murders. The white car in the background was not the Hyundai Elantra, it was a different vehicle, and everything else regarding the people in the back or whatever, that is nothing to do with it whatsoever. It goes on to mention Chris McDonough and the glove, and the fact that all of these things are spurning more and more speculation online. It says, on Monday, retired homicide detective and podcaster Chris McDonough also told News Nation he found a single black glove outside the house on King Road, 28th of November, and that after pointing it out to law enforcement, it appeared that police were not aware of it before then. The alleged development fueled further debate in online forums discussing the case, despite Mr. McDonough clarifying that he doesn't know if the glove is related. The Independent has reached out to the Moscow Police Department for comment about the glove. It's like some sort of weird story, isn't it? It goes on as well to speak to Steve Goncalves, and he's getting and has been quite vocal. He's quite upset. He's getting even more upset now that he feels that people are telling him to shut up. And he's like saying to people, look, imagine you in the position that I'm in as a father of someone who sent my child to school and they've been murdered, and now we're no further forward. This hasn't been settled, and you are frustrated, you are angry, you are upset, and you're now being told to keep your mouth shut. You know, I know there's a lot of speculation over whether he was involved. Oh my word. For fuck's sake. Is he involved? All you lot who think that he's involved have got to think is that you're lucky enough to not be in his position. But what we do need to speak about is this. And that is the amount of, like we talk about in this, that they're saying they've reviewed all this footage and it's nothing to do with it whatsoever. And maybe this late on in the case, you can sort of, with some confidence, know what is involved, what isn't involved, and so on and so forth. But early on, that's not so much the case. And it brings us full circle now back to the day that the victims were found and the few days that followed that, and how quickly some people were indeed cleared. And it hasn't been made clear. And people have turned around and said, look, they can clear people publicly and then they can re-question them, and etc., etc. And I get that. But why would you clear them in the first place? You don't have to clear anyone. You can literally question everyone and then tell them that you'll likely question them again later. But to physically say that people are cleared raises questions as to how they were cleared. Like the roommates, and look, I'm not saying that the remaining roommates did anything whatsoever, but how would you clear them in this situation? Now, let's not forget that this was a house that was, the rooms were lockable, they had locks, They obviously felt that the rooms needed to be locked, because they'd even gone as far as replacing some of the locks just, weeks before this happened. So they felt that the locks were needed. Was that because they were, afraid of their stuff getting stolen, perhaps? I don't know, but the outside door. So they care so much about locking the inside doors and making sure that they're replaced, but the outside doors are not locked. And someone has walked in and subsequently done this. Now, my inquisitive mind would be like, well, how did they get in? How did this person get in? How did they know that they could get in? Now, were they tipped off that that door would be unlocked? Who knows? But you've got to think that this is all a possibility. Because now we're seeing this Hyundai Elantra, that seemingly came from away from the area, into the area, to this specific property, and then left. Now this, to me, does seem targeted. Now, the argument has always been, is it targeted, is it not targeted? If it was targeted, was it the property itself? There does seem to be some confusion around that. People are like, well, how can you target a property, not the people in it? And what we're saying is it could be a case of that specific property, someone knew something about that property, whether somebody specifically owned it. It was a case of they thought that someone else would be there, or there'd been noise complaints that had gone up, and it wasn't so much specific individuals, it was just the place itself and what it stood for and what it did annoyed somebody, so they attacked it as a whole. Or it wasn't so much the property whatsoever, it was those that resided inside it, whether it be one or more of those people. But there are still so many questions around this. Again, if this was indeed targeted, or it's got that targeted feeling, then there's a lot of people who still have to have a lot of questions asked of them. And it will be the likes of Jack, the ex, the roommates who did sadly survive. That isn't to say that they had anything to do with it, but it is at least to find out and fathom out and ascertain how this person knew that they would be able to get into this property. I don't really understand. This to me doesn't feel like something that could have been just done on the off chance. Someone wandering around the streets with police about everywhere, with other people running about down the road. Now, we're saying that these incidents were nothing to do with it, but it seems that it was a hustling and bustling place. You've got the frat house not far with a party going on. You've got police out and about, yards away from where it happened, dealing with alcohol-related incidents. In that video, you've got people running about in the background. You've also got multiple eyewitnesses who were about to see the Hyundai Elantra in the first place, but this person managed to get to this property, into it, do what they did. Now someone must have assisted with this. They must have known that this property was going to be in the situation it was in. That the people or person who was the target would be there, and they would have access to it. And that, to me, is ringing huge, huge alarm bells. And I'm not going to say it at this stage who specifically, but I think we can't ignore it. We can't ignore the fact that the more that time progresses, it does look like this was targeted. Indeed, it does look like it was targeted. It looks like one specific person was potentially the primary target, and this person came in to attack them and knew that they could. Now, we are seeing other channels. I did post a link in community feed. If you've not seen it, head over there. Now, that is regarding a potential connection to one of the Jacks and a Hyundai Elantra. Now, my feelings are it could be nothing. There are irregularities in that picture that I did see, notably with the back windows do seem to be a slightly different shape. So whether that's a slightly older or a slightly newer version. I'm not familiar 100% with the US version of that vehicle, but you know, at the moment this is all speculatory. But at the end of the day, we still have another day past, another day with no more information, an area that has got a killer out there somewhere. The only thankful thing is they haven't struck again. No one else has been hurt. That again feeds into that this was targeted, and whoever did it has done what they came to do, and they have receded back to whence they came. But let's just hope that there is a break in this case very soon. I wish someone would talk. Now, I'm getting emails every day with lots and lots of information. I do thank you. Now, yesterday I had over 200 emails, so for those people who I didn't get back to, I do apologise. I just cannot keep up with it. I will try and get through as many as I can, but it is becoming nigh on impossible to keep up with emails. So once again, I do apologise. If you didn't catch my videos yesterday on the Kylie Rodney case as well, I put up 2 regarding communications that I've had directly with Nevada Sheriff Department. Now, what we can take of that, I do not know. It was specifically about the footage, the tow trucks situation and the footage, and whether they actually were aware of it, which they said they were. The second email asking them whether they had it, they kind of answered in a way that wasn't clear, but I feel that they were trying to be helpful without being seen to be helpful, if that makes sense. But if you haven't checked them out, check them out. But for now, that's absolutely everything. You know, what more can we say on this? We've got gloves, we've got cars, we've got people being cleared far too early that, for me, still hold huge question marks over their heads, and questions around the locks, entry to the house. How did this person truly know that they were going to be able to get here this night, get in, do what they needed to do, get back out, get away, without being seen with seemingly so many people around? Let me know down below what you think, and I'll catch you all in the next one.